the words, twist the wise and color. So the joke touch the sky.
Refugees are welcome here. Say it loud and say it clear. Refugees are welcome here.
Say it loud, say it clear.
Refugees are welcome here.
Say it loud, say it clear.
Refugees are welcome here. Refugees are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. 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 Say it loud, say it
Today, as I watch all of you on this road, representing the best of London, representing the best of the UK, we stand here united in our determination to root out fascism, racism, Muslim hatred, because it has no place in our streets, in London and in this world. It is clear, following what happened yesterday, that we have a great battle ahead of us. And that is a battle against fascists who have gained legitimacy and a fascist ideology that is being given oxygen by political leaders and by the media, including social media. And we have got to stand up and root it out, not enable it, and continue the fight in light of our great grand tradition as socialists, as anti-racists, and as people that represent true humanity. So thank you, comrades, and let's continue. Thank you.
Say it loud, say it clear. Refugees are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Refugees are welcome here.
carefully.
In front of me is the future of London. What happened yesterday in Christchurch represents the worst side of humanity. Today, we see the best side of humanity. People of all color, of all faiths or no faith, of all nationalities, of all communities coming together to fight a common enemy. The words no pasará a reality. They shall not pass. Solidarity.
Y así vamos a continuar alerta.
Muslim rights are under attack! Stand up! Fight back! When refugees are under attack! Stand up! Fight back! When migrant workers are under attack!
They do so well.
Hear us loud, hear us clear! Hear us loud, hear us clear! There's many, many more of us than you. There are many, many more of us than you. There are many, many more. Many, many more. Many, many more of us than you.
I want to introduce our next speaker, a great comrade, a great friend, fighting our cause in Europe, the greatest MEP we will see this time in our generation. I give you Claude Moraes.
And colleagues, when the killer in New Zealand sent his hateful messages, what were they about? About the global compact on refugees, on the great replacement, ethnic replacement. These messages are going right round the world. And we today send a message back to these organised people globally. We send a message of hope, of diversity, and we tell them, we know what you're doing, we know you are dividing us, we know your game is up, because we will resist you, and we will resist these messages of hate. No more, we will be united. Comrades, these messages are being sent even to major countries who oppose the global compact on refugees. This resistance that we have today is a serious one. All together, trade unions, communities, all of us together, fighting for what is right. This is a serious struggle, make no mistake. Online, offline, let's keep up the fight, together, united. Thank you for being here, showing your support. Thank you, comrades.
Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back!
Thank you so much for coming out today to show that you are mourning, along with all of those families in New Zealand, the loss of their loved ones, because they too are our brothers and sisters. It is no accident that we saw the first of these atrocities on this kind of scale in Europe, in Norway, when Anders Breivik killed 77 young people. Why did he target them? He targeted 77 young left-wing activists because they were the very people who would grow up and stand shoulder to shoulder with all of those minorities who the right-wing fascists love to demonise, to marginalise and to persecute. So it was no accident. And it's no accident that in the latest atrocity that we see, that the manifesto that this young man put online before he live streamed his massacre was when he referred to Andres Breivik, when he referred to Candace Owens, who is on the mainstream American media, and Andres Breivik himself referred to Melanie Phillips, who we see on the BBC, who we hear on the BBC. So don't tell me these are just one-off shooters, lone wolves, people who are not linked to a wider agenda. And today we are here to say enough is enough.
I'm ashamed of our parliamentarians and what they impose on each other. It is a disgrace. We should be able to look up to our leaders. I can't stand by and see my black sisters in Parliament heckled, undermined, abused and trolled every day as they are, while leaders and cabinet members shrug their shoulders and laugh at Boris Johnson's funny little antics. No more.
When fascism comes to call, it usually doesn't care what shade of different you are. Members of Muslim, Black and Jewish communities have been the victims of far-right terrorist atrocities whilst they've been at prayer. We are living through a climate of increasing hostility, including against refugees and asylum seekers, encouraged, as we know, by mainstream politicians. And so minorities need to work together in the face of these threats. We must never forget that it will be the far right that will be the real winners if we remain divided. We must never, never allow this to happen. Thank you.
When the terrorist attack took place in New Zealand, following the incident, the terrorist posted a message saying he's an ordinary white man. Ladies and gentlemen, those people who are involved with this demonstration, those who have helped to organize this Stand Up to Racism, let me tell you something about them. Each one of them are extraordinary people. Please give them a round of applause. But more importantly, every one of you who have sacrificed your precious weekend to come out here to demonstrate, to stand up to racism, to stand up to hate, to stand up to all forms of extremism and terrorism, you are extraordinary. So give yourselves a round of applause. Sermon by the Prophet of Islam, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said, there is no superiority of a white over black or a black over a white. This is the message of this demonstration today. There is no superiority of any race over another. We stand together, and we want to let the extremists, the terrorists, and anybody who want to divide our societies, who want to divide the human brotherhood, who want to create divisions, we tell them, you will not divide us.
Greetings from the Jewish Socialist Group and from the Jewish Bloc. Last September, Jewish communities around the world were shocked and outraged when we heard about the massacre in a synagogue in Pittsburgh. But as Jewish people, we were exactly just as outraged, just as shocked when we heard about the slaughter of Muslim worshippers in Christchurch, New Zealand, and we send our sympathy to those who lost their loved ones. Jews and Muslims here today stand united, and we will always be united against the haters of the far right. We will always be united in the fight for Jews, Muslims, all minorities to live fully equal, fully respected people, free to express their cultures wherever they live. And we are not fooled by the crocodile tears coming from Tory politicians who will not investigate Islamophobia in their own party. We will not be fooled by a Tory party that continues the policy of the hostile environment that devastates the life of our brothers and sisters in Caribbean communities and other migrant communities. The Jewish people we remember that our communities, fleeing discrimination and persecution, were locked out of Britain after 1905 by an Act of Parliament passed by the Tories, implemented by the Liberals, and that is why we, as Jewish people here today, are so fired up to fight for justice for all who are oppressed and discriminated against. No to racism, no to fascism, never again.
I also believe that there is a direct connection between the rise of the far right, the rise of racism, fascism, and the rise of inequality in this country, in Europe, and across the world. And if we want to defeat racism, we also have to defeat inequality. Let's defeat racism, let's defeat inequality. And the best way of doing that is 1, join a trade union. 2, join the Labour Party. And finally, let's get behind the strongest, greatest anti-racist campaigner this country has seen in mainstream politics, Jeremy Corbyn. I have a message from our great friend, comrade Jeremy. Jeremy says, "Thank you everyone for being here today. You are sending a loud and clear message that we say no. We must call out the bigotry wherever we see it and celebrate our diversity and what we can achieve when we are together. We should never forget the incredible contributions that all of our communities have and do make to our society. But more than that, we should remember that we achieve more when communities come together. Because when communities come together, we can address the real problems in our society and challenge poverty, challenge inequality and racism, defeat austerity and tackle climate change. We are all stronger when we're united in respect and celebration of our diversity. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for the support you are showing each other." That is the message from the leader of the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn.